But are we? We're
We're live.
recording. We're live.
We're live. We're recording. I have no idea what's happening with um let's see.
There's no Barbara over Tom's shoulder
I
anymore.
know. I need to find a new Barbara, but they don't come
Yeah.
along. Mike Nichols for a while. Barbara,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's I
I'll
mean,
be.
you might still just have to keep Barbara in perpetuity. I
It's
mean,
You,
true.
you need you need a new celebrity over your shoulder.
But now well, we might have. I think we might have Al Pacino in the fall. So when I know
Oh,
more about that, Al might be up there.
wow.
Yeah.
Has Paul has Paul
Al
Giamatti done a
Pacino.
memoir?
No,
Has
but I've been listening to interviews and I was thinking the same thing.
Who?
Paul
He's so.
Giamatti?
I mean,
Oh,
I think he's so modest that he might not think he's worthy of one, but would be
Uh,
great.
yeah.
yeah.
I see
I just
Keanu
love.
Reeves has a book coming. Not you, it's not with you, Tom, but Keanu
Oh
Reeves has
my
a book coming
Oh, I
with
didn't know
China
that.
Melville, I think.
God.
They're
I
co-writing it.
emailed
Oh,
Wade because it's a Del Rey book. I was like, Wade, are there going to be any advanced reader copy? He's like, ha ha ha! I don't even get to read it. I'm like,
oh.
come in.
When is it coming? In the summer?
July, I think. Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. But Tom, we were talking. I think you figured out the book, Amanda. We were talking, and I'm just going to give everybody a minute or two to make sure that they're on with us. I think you're right. It was on Cane Side. I was like, I'm reading the ton of French.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
I'm in Ireland and I'm a whole bit. And so then all of a sudden it got me thinking about, I was like, oh my God, what was that book? Um,
And
that
what did
was,
you figure out what it was?
I think it's on Cane Side because I thought it was
Oh,
Secret
oh,
Scripture, but I think it was on, and I was like, oh my God, I loved that book so much. But for the life of me, I couldn't remember that that was the name of the book.
yeah.
But I remember the author. I
Sebastian.
remember, that she was just, how she came across from America. I mean, from Ireland, and all the men that just like totally screwed her over in her life.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
That sounds like it is on Canaan's side, I think.
yeah. So if anybody hasn't read on Cane Side yet, pick up on Cane Side.
I
Really pick up
think
any Sebastian Barry. But
Sebastian. I think Julie, you and I will go into walk off into the sunset talking about Sebastian Barry and encouraging more people to read him.
I know, I just don't understand why he's not just his right. I mean, on Secret Scripture. Oh my God,
Yeah,
it'll break your heart. So good.
yeah. Whereabouts of Ennius McNulty? I think that was the first one. Did you read
Yeah,
that?
that I never read.
It's great.
Yeah, that I know, that I did not read. But
What is it? Sorry.
It's called The Whereabouts of Ennius McNulty.
Oh.
and as I was going down this rabbit hole, I was reading, which I didn't realize at the time, that I guess most of these are about his family.
Yeah, I think that's
Most of
right.
the stories like come from. I'm having a really bad hair day, so I'm going to be screwing with my hair all day. So just bear with me, everybody. All right, I think we've even. It looks like it's just the three of us today.
Well, that's
Gabe,
good.
where are you?
I missed last week, but it was a full house maybe last week.
Yeah, we had Gabe and Andrew, so it was good.
Okay.
So, okay, but before we do that, really quickly, Tom, and I know we're going to talk about books, but we'll get to that in a minute, everybody. I promise. But Tom, I think, went and did something super exciting maybe a week or so ago.
I did. I saw Killers of the Flower Moon for first of all for the third time.
Okay.
I love this movie. It was just kind of happenstance that I've seen it three times, but the last time I couldn't miss because it was uh, the cast and the
Yeah.
director. So
Yeah.
that included, I had heard, so it was all done through the LA Times. And I knew that Marty was going to be there and Leo was going to be there.
Wait. He says Marty like we're all supposed to know like Martin
Yeah,
Scorsese.
that's
Okay.
the one.
What?
Marty
Yeah,
to Tom. Marty
that's
to
the
Tom.
Marty I'm referring to.
Marty to Tom.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Then Lily Gladstone, I knew was going to be there, and then some of her sisters in the movie were there, the actresses. Surprise appearance by Bob De Niro. So it was literally everyone. It was the night before the Golden Globes, so they were all in town, and fantastic discussion of the movie. And many of the things I wanted to ask got asked and answered, and it was amazing. And
You had some pretty
Leo,
good seats from the pictures. You had some pretty good seats there, my
I
friend.
did. I did. I had some VIP seats.
Yeah.
And Leo was I mean, he was great, and he kind of deferred, as he's been doing in these interviews, to Lily, let her take the lead.
Which I think
but
is awesome.
But the way that they created, I mean, this was, to me, it's just incredible the way they all collaborated on this movie. I mean, Scorsese, but all the actors, the Lily and the other actors, the native actresses were able to come up with their, they suggest things, talk to them, talk through things. And then a director like, to me, a director like Martin Scorsese at 80, whatever, is still open and learning and willing to be led and change is awesome.
So awesome.
Yeah, so it was a fantastic night. And Paul Giamatti connection. So afterwards, we were, because the movie, we all might know this, is long. And then you add in 45 minutes of discussion. So it was late and nothing was open, or they, or
Did you see him at In-N-Out?
We went to that In-N-Out. So we saw that, and that was perfect. And then the next night, I'm like, I know that In-N-Out. We were just there. So yeah,
amazing.
It was a great thing.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, when I saw your stories on Instagram, I was waiting for you last week on Tea Time because I was like, oh my God, we've got to talk about this. This is so awesome.
And of course, Leo, Leo was a little bit late, which is like appropriate. Like he should be a little bit late.
For sure. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, we probably should get to really talking about books. Yeah. So, Amanda, do you have something to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to let Tom go first, and then you can pop in. Tom, are you sharing screen, or are you just going to... No, okay.
Old school. I'm going to old school it.
Old school it? Okay. Sounds good. Okay, you can go.
So, my first book is Kathryn Minn's The Fetishist, which was out, I think it's been out a week, or it was out last Tuesday. So this is her second novel. Knopf published Secondhand World, her first book. There's so much, I'll get to the book itself, but there's so much story around the book. So Kathryn Minn, tragically passed away in 2019 to breast cancer. But she had written this complete draft of a novel. But when she became ill, she was a kind of writer who was constantly polishing sentences, just a perfectionist. But when she became ill, she decided she didn't care about fiction anymore, and she just set it aside. She started working on nonfiction. And then she passed away. And thankfully, her daughter and I think her brother, definitely her daughter, they went through all of her files, and they found this manuscript, which they all knew about. She'd been reading from it for years at different writers' retreats and things. But when they read it, they were like, this is done. This is not this is not something that's in process. And they brought it to first Cathy Park Hong, the Asian American writer who, author of Minor Feelings, helped the daughter find an agent. And then they came to Sally Kim at Putnam. And it was just one of these beautiful things that can happen, doesn't always happen, where the right editor and the right book come together. And so Sally was, who I love, one of my favorite people in publishing. She was thrilled to bring this out into the world. So it's really a labor of love from all of these different people. But the book itself is madly entertaining. And so The Fetishist is about, the subject matter is racism and how white men have fetishized Asian women. And so the book opens, so there's two amazing women. There's Alma and Kyoko. And the book opens with Kyoko outside of a classical music concert where Daniel, I can't remember what instrument he plays, is performing. And she is, you gradually, you can see that she's about to kidnap Daniel because of what Daniel had done to Alma. Daniel is the fetishist of the title. So she kidnaps him. She's this punk rock girl, and she's going to take revenge on this white man. But then it takes so many surprising twists and turns. So it's not a thriller, but it has elements of that. But it is also she's working with Nabokov's Lolita. That's also part of the subtext here. Her like the reverse Lolita. It's a fascinating, amazing, beautiful book. So she's so racism, Orientalism, and then really it's got all these deep topics, but it's super entertaining at the same time. So Catherine Minns, The Fetishist, which I hope gets, it's already starting to get reviewed, and her family and then and she's beloved by other writers. They're doing events around the country around the book. There's a great quote from Susan Choi, who's a writer I really like. And she gets it right. The Fetishist is so reverent and so unruly. It's both at the same time. So delicate and so explosive. Such a merge of chamber music with the mosh pit. So devastatingly sad and devastatingly funny and alive and generous with its abundance of life. I mourn Catherine Min and am grateful for this fiery novel of hers. So yeah, it's great. And awesome. I'm so happy for the family and so excited for Sally Kim to be the publisher of this book.
And I saw this on Libro. I was going through the Libro thing and I saw it pop up. And for whatever reason, and I don't know why, I thought this was an old book.
Oh, interesting.
It was
just
so
from
weird.
The cover, or
I don't know, the cover, the title, everything. I was just like, I wonder
you were wondering why it's there, right?
Why it's on Libro. And so yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I've got to go look in my stack because I know I've got this somewhere and I've had it for a long time. So I don't know. It's very odd.
And it's kind of it reads quickly. I mean, it's because of its so it's surprising, it's kind of like a page turner at the same time.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. But I'm glad that
so good.
The cover's so good. That's why I was just like, I've seen this. I mean, there's just something. So I've got to figure out why I know this.
Right.
So
I don't know.
I don't either. Oh. All right, Amanda. Before we go to that, though, I guess Kim, who's on here, read Selznick's Big Tree. So awesome.
Yeah. And Orbital.
Oh yeah.
Orbital's yours, Amanda?
It's a Grove book, so Andrea has talked about it.
Okay, got it. Okay.
It's by Samantha Harvey, who also wrote The Western Wind and some nonfiction that's really good. She has a book about sleeplessness, her insomnia, that's really good. And but Orbital is very good. And Kim used the word transcendent, which is a very good word for it. It's
for Orbital. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got? What are you going to talk about today?
I have a weird book. I didn't know that this was a genre until I read this book. It's in the genre Finnish noir. Or no, I'm sorry, Finnish weird.
Oh.
Weird.
Okay. so I didn't know.
This is Fishing for the Little Pike by Juhani Karila. It's translated from Finnish, and this is the English language debut from this author. And the story is that it's fiction. There's this young woman who's going back to her home for like her annual pilgrimage home in Lapland. And she is hunting this pike that lives in the lake near her home. And you find out that she needs to find this pike and fish it out of the water in 3 days, or else something's going to happen. And there's a detective who's trying to track her down, and it gradually unfurls that it seems like our protagonist is wanted for murder, and there are all these strange mythical creatures from Finnish folklore that are just in the story, chilling in the story. It's such a cool example of magical realism. I have not read anything like this book. It's hugely entertaining, and I just love it. It's from Unnamed Press, and it's Fishing for the Little Pike.
That sounds like nothing else I've ever read.
It's so weird. It actually reminded me of Neil Gaiman's American Gods, the way that these mythical creatures are just regular characters in the story. And it's such a neat way to find out about Finnish folklore, which is not something I'd ever encountered before. It's like wrapped up in this kind of regular, not exactly regular, but murder mystery kind of story. So
It sounds fascinating.
Yeah, really
So it has
cool genre bender.
right, but a little bit of Finnish noir also.
And weird. I guess the genre is called
I like
Finnish
Finnish weird. That's good.
weird. Yeah.
But I love, see, that's, I mean, I love books like that because sometimes I just want to get out of the same old, it's like you're reading the same book sometimes. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I want something that's completely different. I mean, that's why, I mean, I'm not a huge fantasy reader, but that's once in a while. It's just like, that's my palate cleanser. It's like, okay, I want a good I want something that's good. And,
It it's it, it's such a good book though because it also takes on um there's a curse involved. So there's like this protagonist is dealing with things that happened in her past. So it has these serious themes in it, but it's told in this kind of deadpan, funny way. But then there's a murder. It's like, what is happening? I don't
what's
know what's
happening?
happening, but
I
I'm
love
totally delighted. Yeah.
Love it. All right, Tom, what's your next book?
Well, my next book is out. I think this is out of about a week also. The Amen Effect by Sharon Brous. I'm not sure how to say her last name. So she is and the subtitle is Ancient Wisdom to Mend Our Broken Hearts and World. So she is this. I feel like this could be one of the more important books we published. Surprise, like unexpectedly. I mean, I knew it was going to be a great kind of inspirational self-help book, but she's one of the country's most prominent rabbis. She's based in LA. Obviously, she wrote this book before 10/7, but it can have. But I heard she did this amazing interview with oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on his name on Ezra Klein. He does a great podcast with different kinds of thinkers, and as he's done a few on how to understand how to talk about what happened on 10/7, and he had her on, and it was an incredible conversation. So the book that was a couple months ago, and now the book is out in the world, and you can see that it's one of these little. This could go, in your purse, or it's an easy book to hold, and so she's making the case that the spiritual work of her time is to find a way to with one, we have to find a way to connect with one another in sorrow, in celebration, in solidarity. And little did she know the book would come out into a world, where all of these things are harder than ever. So I think it's I mean, I'm really excited for this book to be available. The Publisher's Weekly Review said, seamlessly mixing rabbinic wisdom, personal anecdotes, and psychology. She discusses compassion fatigue and how mirror neurons facilitate sharing others' joy. Brew offers readers hope for building bridges. This inspires. So I think that we all need this book more than ever. And so that's the Amen Effect.
She's in LA?
Yeah. And this book started as one of her most powerful sermons. I think she's also done TED Talks, things like that.
I want her to come down for the San Diego Writers Festival in April.
Oh, we should, let's work on that.
Let's work on that.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be a fantastic discussion.
Yes. And I really recommend the Ezra Klein interview. It's so thoughtful and, gives you hope in a time when the hopelessness might be the easier path.
Right.
So
really
San Diego Writers Conference is a great idea.
Yeah, it's in April. So I think it would be a really good timing for it.
Definitely.
Okay, Amanda, what do you got? And I apologize, everybody. I have a new computer, so if my notifications, I think, are making noise, it's like, oh my God, I'm ready to kill everything right now. So
I didn't hear anything.
Okay, thank God.
I didn't either. And how exciting that you have a new computer. That's awesome.
I'm very happy about it because my other one was driving me insane. But now all the time that I have spent on this is time, in my opinion, wasted because there's so much. When you get a new computer, there's so much you have to do. It drives me crazy. So anyways, sorry. So I'm glad you couldn't hear it. So I'm glad I talked about this live. I was like, oh my God, I'm over here like pushing buttons trying to turn the noise off. It's like, oh, God's sakes, I look like a moron. Okay.
I like how you mentioned the size of that book, Tom. I feel like that's something we don't, sometimes we might lose track of if we're looking at books online or.
Right, it's true.
Yeah.
And there's something very, like, I love a book that I can hold like that and just.
Yep. Wonder if The Secret was the first book that kind of did that. Remember? It's such a good package.
Of course, I remember The Secret.
It's a secret.
Oh, Julie. Wah, wah.
One of the proudest moments in publishing history, I'm sure. That multi-million copy bestseller.
Yeah, it definitely had something to do with its packaging, I have to say.
Yeah.
Here's a book that came out late last year from Biblioasis. Biblioasis is a great publisher in Canada. This is Breaking and Entering by Dawn Gilmore. And our protagonist is a woman nearly 50 who is in a stale marriage, and her son's off to college recently, and she's just kind of wistful for the earlier days when everything seemed really exciting and fresh. And so it's in this near future, I think, that it's the hottest summer on record. So that's kind of looming in the background. And she realizes that she has not only an interest, but a very good talent in picking locks. So she starts walking into other people's lives, figuratively and literally, and seeing the world in a different way, like seeing people judging them and then judging them by their homes, and kind of stacking herself up against these strangers. And it's so weird and wonderful, and it's such a strange book. The author's name is Dawn Gilmore, so this is a man writing a woman, a middle-aged woman. I think he does a pretty good job. So that's Breaking and Entering. It's super fun and so well written, and I really admire Biblioasis.
This might be the year for weird books, because I just got
I love it.
Because I just got through reading Tom the Miranda July, which isn't out until like May.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, May.
Okay, this ain't your mother's road trip.
Okay? No. or your mother's Finding Herself book.
Oh yeah, it is. Everybody is in for a wild ride on this one. So
I love that 2024, the year of the weird book.
I think it might be. Because okay, it's telling me my voice quality is poor. Is my voice quality poor?
No.
Okay. I think it sounds stellar.
I'm hating this new computer. Can I just say?
It's so judgmental.
It must have really high standards.
Oh my God, I just had this screen pop up that says your voice quality is poor. It's
Are you sure it's not talking about my voice quality? It's gonna judge all of us before we're done.
Is this the new AI that we've got?
Yeah, right.
Excuse me.
Please, how do you take off the AI?
AI is going to be judgy and make us feel inferior.
Is it Is it offering you choices for some other voice that you could try out?
And then it went away.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do with that?
And then it went away. It was just like, okay, I'm going to judge you, and now I'm going to go away.
It's like, are you really wearing that?
Oh my God, right. This is right. Yes, Kim, my computer is weird. It's like, oh my God, I am like.
No, you sound great, Julie.
Right at throat. Your voice quality is poor, as if I don't have anything else to worry about.
Your voice quality is weird. What if it said that?
I know, exactly. Oh my God.
Then we know it's been listening to our conversation.
Yeah. So anyways, all fours, y'all have got.
Yes.
Just like, holy moly, moly, holy. I mean.
I'm just going to hold it up. Hold on a second.
Yeah, you got it?
Because I have it.
Okay. Yeah, it is. Yep, there it is. It's a great cover.
Yeah.
Although after reading the book, I can't figure out the cover.
What are those?
Well,
okay.
I mean, I
I
get the
figure
all
she,
fours. I get the title.
I figure, oh, I love that title. For me, it's the character on a precipice, and there it is,
Yeah.
ready to do something, jump or
Yeah.
not jump, or
Yeah.
I don't
Because
know.
it lends itself, the cover kind of lends itself to thinking that it's like set out in nature or something, which you ain't got any nature in this book. Let me
No,
tell you what.
no.
Yeah, it
And
looks, sorry, it
Frank,
looks like bucolic. Is that the word?
yeah, I think
It
it's
looks,
supposed to be a contrast between the book itself and the cover. The they're rubbing up against each other.
Oh, well, there's another one you got there, Tom.
Perfectly appropriate for the book.
oh, oh my
Oh,
God.
you gave Tom, you're giving the book away.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. Miranda's book can go up there. Anyways, okay. Lightning round. We're
Okay.
chattering too much today. We're probably boring people to death. Sorry, everybody.
No, they're hearing about new books and weird computers and
weird computers and.
Well, my last book is anything but weird. It is very familiar. It is still great. Geraldine Brooks's Horse, which is out last week or the week before, finally in paperback. So if any book groups have been waiting, now's the time. We published this in 2022, so it's almost 2 years, not quite. And it just kept selling in hardcover. That's why publishers do these things when the books
and
just
bookstores
don't
need it too. I mean, frankly, bookstores need the margins too. So it's
right. Yeah. I mean, and so, but I'm excited to have it in paperback because it's such a great book. So it's the way we describe it on here is a discarded painting in a junk pile, a skeleton in an attic, and the greatest racehorse in American history. And that's perfect. Like it is the quintessential to me Geraldine Brooks novel because she's braiding together these three time frames. It's art, it's history, in this book it's race and the race and class, and also the people behind the horses. And what this is about, the earliest portion of the book about Lexington, the racehorse. There were enslaved people who were there caring for these horses. So the book takes all of that into account. And it's just a big, expansive, mind expanding, just beautiful Geraldine Brooks novel.
Exactly.
I love Jean Smiley, who knows horses. She says, the best horse book I've ever read, including all of my own. And she's written a few. So, great to have in paperback, and it's just going to sell forever.
Yeah,
and if you haven't read, I mean, all of her books are great, but this and People of the Book, I think, are my two favorites.
Yeah, I was going to say, People of the Book. If you haven't read People of the Book out there, read People of the Book.
Yeah, get on.
That is absolutely. But I love this book. Dee's on here. She just got her copy. She's looking forward to it. Check out for her book group. So thanks, Dee.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. It is essential that they come in paperback. Because we
absolutely
we all can't afford every hardcover that we put publishers publish.
No, but I mean, I had a conversation about a publisher who were magnanimous, that was publishing only in paper, and it's just like bookstores can't live on the margins of paperback. So it's like that's just the reality of what
And I think authors and publishers same.
Right.
For the ecosystem, it needs to start that way.
Looks like Dee read First Lie Wins also, Tom. I think that's your book. So Viking book.
Oh yeah, First Lie Wins. Yes. Yeah. That's the new read. That's one of the books we talked about on New Year's Day.
Oh, okay.
I think, right? And then the next day, I couldn't say that it was a Reese pick because that happened the next day, but it is the latest Reese pick. So yeah, I'm so glad that you enjoyed that.
Yeah,
really
thanks,
fun
Dee.
book. Really fun read.
I love all the secrecy that's still behind all that stuff. It's like you would think that at this point it's just like there's so many book clubs that are doing stuff that it's just sort of like, but it's all good. So
yeah.
All right, she loved it. She said it was.
Oh, excellent. And I think it's one of the bigger seems to be one of the bigger Reese picks, getting a lot of buzz.
Good. Yeah, we like that. We like that a lot. Amanda, you got a lightning pick?
Yeah, this is another book coming out in paperback tomorrow. This is also one of Andrea's books, actually. Scorched Grace by
I
Margot.
remember her talking about that.
Yeah, Margot Duhay.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I was fascinated. Yes.
Amazing cover.
I'm glad they kept the cover.
Well, this is my arc. I mean, I presume they kept the cover because it's
okay. All
but
right.
This was from when it came out in hardcover. I keep saying I'm not a huge thriller reader, but then I keep bringing these thrillers.
You're bringing Finnish weird to us.
It's noir. It's specifically like something neo-noirish. So this book is our protagonist is a queer chain-smoking nun who teaches music at a private school in New Orleans. So amazing character, really well written. There is a blurb on this that I want to read from Dawn Winslow. This bold entry into the hard-boiled genre revitalizes it for our times. Skillfully plotted, propulsive, and deeply engaged with the communities it represents, Scorched Grace is one of the best crime fiction debuts I've come across in a long time.
Go Dawn.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
our friend Dawn Winslow. So that's Scorched Grace, out in paperback tomorrow, and the second book, Blessed Water, comes out in March, and that's also available to pre-order now.
Okay.
Fantastic. I haven't read it, but that premise is, I have to read it.
Kim was on here said she loved Scorched Grace. So
oh, cool.
Yeah, I love it. So I'm glad that that's out in paperback for everybody. Okay, I'm in the middle of, I get to do something really fun next week for librarians and booksellers. So sorry, but you all get to see it at some point. But I get to interview Tana French. You're gonna go get that too, Tom?
I am.
I love it. So I'm halfway through this, and
everything is handy. I can go get it.
I love it. So The Hunter, I think that's coming out in May too, I think, right?
That's March. It's March.
Oh, March, that's coming out. Okay, that's coming out in March. Yeah. If you've read Tana French, In the Woods, I think was In the Woods one of her first ones?
That was her first book.
Book. So The Searcher is the kind of technically prequel to this, but they really kind of can stand alone from each other. She's good. It's really good.
You're enjoying it? Yeah.
Yeah, really am. And it's now I'm sorry, because at first I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. Thanks you guys. Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. But I mean, because I had sleepless nights when I was prepping to interview John Grisham for the first time. That was like, but this one's kind of getting up there a little bit, because I was telling Tom, so I was doing a little research, and I was like, okay, I should watch like some old interviews or something a whole bit. So I stumbled across the person who interviewed the interview that she did for The Searcher with Marlon James.
So now it's a step. Now they're taking even a higher step up to Julie Straczynski.
So I was so funny, because it's like, okay, I need to stop watching this because it's just going to intimidate me even more. So I'm not going to watch the Marlon James interview, but I will watch it. So
that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. I can't wait. So it's going to be really fun. So look forward to Tana French's new book too, because it's always a treat when she's got a new book coming out.
Because she does not publish very often.
No, it's like,
I mean, not like a lot of these thriller writers. She's every two years. I think.
Yeah, I think 2020 might have been The Searcher.
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah. I think. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong. Don't
late 2020 or 2020, late 2020.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Yeah,
I think so.
So it's been a while. Okay, everybody. So now some weird books for y'all.
And I think The Fetishist has its weird aspects. So
I know it does.
It could fall into that category.
Yeah, I think so too. Just by the time.
Oh, can I mention too? Nancy Warwick texted me yesterday, and she loved The Foxwife by
Yangtze Chu.
Yeah, who we're hosting soon for the book. She said it might be her favorite book of the year already. Like,
wow, that good.
Of the whole year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was watching, somebody read the new Chris Whitaker and said that he's predicting that will be his favorite book of the year so far.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like, okay, it's January 13th, people. It's like,
I know.
Well,
Calm down. Wait till you see the fall list.
it's like, although I have to say, okay, and this is the first time it's happened. 2023 for me, there was not, like 2022, hands down, Trespasses was my favorite book of 2022.
Yeah.
No question. It was just like, it stood up on all categories. There were so many good books in 2023 that it was hard for me to like pick one that like really stood up
that
above
stood
the
above,
crowd.
right?
Because there were so many good books. And as I was going through the list, it's like, oh yeah, I really liked that one because, so there's a lot of good books like North Woods and Covenant Water. I mean, there was lots of good stuff. So, all right, everybody.
That made the holiday season, I think, fun for booksellers because there were so many different books you could sell.
You could, because I mean, you could just go, you could really go to a stack and there was something for everybody. There were lots of good authors that, Lauren Groff, lots of good authors that published books last year, and they were good, solid books. So it was a fun book selling year last year. Okay, everybody, have a good week reading, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Amanda, we got to talk about Winter Institute too. I'll have to decide if I'm going to try and come in live.
Another live.
I know. Amanda, unfortunately, is not going this year.
Oh, right.
Which is a bummer. But who knows? We'll see what's going on. All right, everybody. Happy reading. Bye.
Bye.